Hello everyone, today we are going to talk about autism, which is like nowadays the prevalence of autism is very high. Many children have these problems, like in this mainly for the parents and the family members to understand how we can manage these conditions, have a little better idea about this condition. That's what the idea of this video. And my name is Ganapathy. I am the head of the Occupational Therapy department. I have done my masters in pediatric occupational therapy. I have around 15 to 17 years of experience in this field of developmental pediatrics. So what is autism? When you hear this word, like earlier which was called the pervasive developmental disorder, in the sense it is the children are not developing as normal as other children. So there is no obvious problem. This is what like most of the time the parent says that he looks okay, there is no physical disability, hand movements are fine, leg movements are fine, but why he is so different from other children? So first thing we have to understand is, like, every one of us have this quality of autism, in the sense being alone, being introvert, getting in, not paying attention to the external environment, or sometimes we are oblivious to the external environment. All these qualities even we have. So these children, they have three classical signs. So they are like, first thing is communication. Communication in the sense, it's not speech, it's communication. That is, you reciprocate to what the other person is talking, to understand what he is telling and respond very appropriate to what you're talking. That is communicating. Means you have to connect with them emotionally, you have to connect with their feelings and tone and their pitch, everything you have to have. These qualities are important aspect of communication. So it is not just a speech. So speech delay is different from autism. So first thing is communication. Second thing, problem in socialization. So what is socialization? Is to mingle with the society. So it is not like your children talking to me, or in the sense your children talking to you as a parents. They may be talking to you, but socialization, especially when they are going to the external environment or extended relatives, it's very difficult for them to communicate. So some of these autistic children, they may develop the communication with the parents better, but they have a severe problem in socialization, mingling with other children, other people. And the third thing is behavior problem, especially the repetitive stereotypic behaviors. They will have hand clapping, head shaking. So are these three problems are the classical clinical features which you can see in autistic children. So apart from this, what are the other problems usually they come with this? No, my child is not talking, communication, socialization, behavior problems, hand clapping, not maintaining eye contact. All these things are the component of their classical behavior. Apart from that, they will have a severe, in the sense the range of motor related problems also, especially the praxis problem. Praxis in the sense inability to perform skilled movements. Since it is a childhood problem, they have to convert the movement into actions, different kind of actions, action into skill. So these children, most of the time, they get stuck to this the movement level itself. So they barely convert this movement into action, imitating imitating different kind of actions which others are doing, and convert that into a skill. Now That is why their play skill also will be affected. The way they play is different, the way they communicate is different, the way they express their emotions are different. Now, coming to the sensory part, that earlier we were some scientific community were thinking that it is more of sensory integrational dysfunction. Now it is added to sensory integration and praxis also, in the sense, unless until you integrate, process the sensory input which is coming from outside and make a meaningful information and convert that into a skill, it won't happen. So there are two kinds of praxis skills they can have problem with. One is the ideational praxis, that is the idea itself not there. So for example, if I have to do brushing, I should have a clear idea about which brush to take, how to hold it, how to do it, up, down, inside, out, all those kind of sequential idea I have to have as a concept in my mind. So since this concept is not there, they will not be able to convert that into an action and skill. So this is called ideational apraxia. This is very common in autistic children because they are underdeveloped language skill. The second aspect is called ideomotor skill, where because they are not able to have a clear comprehensive aspect to that what we are trying to tell and making into an idea by themselves, imitating or whatever it is, they are not able to follow the instructions because they are not able to understand the instruction and convert that into a motor action. So such children, sometimes they will do by themselves a certain activity, but they are not able to follow the instruction what you are telling. So these are the two classical apraxic components which can happen in autism. So apart from that, there can be an associatory problems with autism also, like mental retardation and other things at all. So when you say autism, it is not a single condition, it's an umbrella conditions, it's a group of conditions. So there will be different kind of autism can happen. So autism spectrum disorder has multiple type of autism. For example, if you take severe autism with mental retardation, they will have a IQ level very low, below average or low IQ level. And some children like Asperger syndrome, it's one of the type of autistic syndromes. In this, IQ will be good. These are all called high functioning autism. Others are called low functioning autism. So that is how we will divide them. So that will determine that should I educate my child or I have to train my child. You have to decide based on that. And there are new set of autistic symptoms which are coming up now is environmental factor, because it can happen because of genetic factor, it can be because of developmental factors. Mainly the environment plays a major role nowadays. Parents working in different kind of socioeconomic, different kind of environmental arrangement. For example, they're in nuclear family, there is no extended family, both the parents are working, where the child is not having any exposure for communication. There may be one nanny who is taking care of the child, but she is also busy with her work and she is into her world. But the child is not having a adequate exposure to the external world, can develop an autism. That is one aspect to that because of the environment. Second thing is virtual autism. Nowadays this is very frequently happening occurrence. The thing is, more exposure to digital. This is purely one-way communication. There is no reciprocation happening from the child. The child can develop autistic features. So such cases, like because of environmental factors, if they are having such problems, this can be corrected very easily. So this has to be assessed earlier. So there are conditions in autism. There is something called developmental childhood developmental deviation disorder. In this disorder, there is condition called childhood disorganization disorder. in the disintegration or disorganization disorder, where what happened is the child develop normally up to 2 years. There is no problem. They communicate, they talk normally, everything is okay. All the developmental signs are okay. But from 2 years, they suddenly develop a dip into that. So this is also can happen some type of autism. So you have to pay attention to all these things. So we have put all our developmental milestone videos. You have to go through that and understand your child development properly, so that you can pick up these signs much earlier. No, for example, eye contact. If your child is engaging with you, if your child is paying joint attention with you, like if you are showing something, if your child is also looking at you, or she making a smile at you, doing certain developmental milestone like rolling, doing some skillful movement, all these things, how they are doing, you have to pay attention to earlier. So these are all very subtle signs. Unless until you go, because these children are normal, there is no physical disability, you will be waiting till like 5 years, it's not right. No, because my brother also spoken at the age of 5 only, let's wait and see. It's not the right approach. If you feel there is a deviation, a slight deviation from the track of child's developmental milestone, you have to approach the expert. So when you come to us with these kind of problems, this is also another bias happening in the public. It's a stigma happening. Just think, if I go to a specialist, they will brand my child as autism. No, it's not, because you at least you should know what is the problem. If you don't know what is the problem, no, the solutions are going to be very tougher. Naturally, it may happen, but it may not happen the way we want, the speed at which the child requires the development, because we are going to miss the critical stage of their development. So what we do is we do a standard evaluation. Even before 3 years, we can understand if the child is having any symptoms of autism. So once the assessment is done, what we do is we start with the intervention. So intervention basically based on their behavior, based on their psychomotor activities, and their daily scheduling. How do you have to handle the child and different aspects, so that the child can perform much better in their adaptive skills, in the sense motor, language, and their self-care activities can develop much better than not doing any intervention. So if you have any children with such developmental disabilities, or you know somebody like who have such problems, you can contact us. We should be able to help you.